Hello all and welcome. I am the Realist Philosopher, and this is the Realist Den, where we're 100% raw, 100% real, 100% of the time, baby. So how y'all doing today? Hope you're all doing good, fine, and well. So in this video, I would like to talk about this recent story that came out in the news and is all over social media about the Thot audit. So for those of you who don't know what Thot stands for, it's short for that hoe over there. And essentially, to boil it down to the most simple explanation, a thot is a woman who is seeking attention, a lot of attention. It's a woman who goes online, shows off her cleavage, whatever she's got to offer, in exchange for a lot of attention, and oftentimes for cash, right? You hear about these girls on Twitch all the time who are going on Twitch, going on these gaming platforms where men are gaming, and they're seeking attention so that they can get donations, right? And this ticks some guys off because they're actually doing legitimate gaming. They are there for the purpose of gaming. The platform is made for gaming. These women are coming on. They're not really doing anything that involves gaming. They're pretending to be gaming, but they're really just there to take advantage of guys who they perceive as poor and pathetic losers. Something, by the way, they have no problem expressing. Sounds like man-hate to me. And this story is about some men online having a problem with these women and also having a problem with the fact that apparently they don't pay taxes. Imagine that. Some guys who women are treating like crap finding out that these bros are not paying taxes. Meanwhile, they are paying taxes and they have a problem with that. Yeah, it's misogyny. It's not that, oh, I'm not being treated the same. This woman's getting special treatment in some way, shape, or form, or she thinks she's entitled to special treatment, and she's not paying taxes, and here I am paying taxes, and she's talking at me and treating me like crap. Yeah. Maybe I'll report her for tax evasion. I don't have a problem with that, by the way. But apparently the guy that wrote this article does. A guy by the name of Frank Chung. That name screams, not only that, but his picture screams of male feminist. So let's check out the title of this article. Right-wing trolls. Okay, so automatically you know that this guy has a bias, right? And how do you know they're right-wing, by the way, right? Oh, because they couldn't possibly be left-wing, because if they were left-wing, that would mean that they adhere to your feminist, oppressive, patriarchal narrative in which women are somehow oppressed, so we got to give them this leg up and ignore any advantages or superior positions they have, because that's just a make-up for all the horrible things done to them in the past, right? So if I don't fall into that category and believe that narrative, I must be right-wing? Yeah, that's an either-or logical fallacy, by the way. I couldn't be something else. I couldn't be moderate. I couldn't be in between. I could be none of the above. I might not be right-wing, might not be left-wing. I just might be a reasonable person that has a problem with it. But oh no, you have to associate me with an ideology to, on one hand, smear that ideology and to label me as somehow biased, right, by that ideology. And that's why I have a problem with this. Not because there's anything objectionable about these women not paying taxes. Right, it couldn't be that. So, right-wing trolls report online sex workers to tax authorities in Thot audit. Online sex workers have slammed a viral campaign by right-wing incels. I see. So, look closely at the words. So, first they're right-wing, right? And now they're implying that right-wingers are incels, or that not only are they right-wing, but they're right-wing incels to boot. So, not only are they ideologically polarized to be uptight, prudish individuals, but they're also losers who can't get chicks, and they're just bitter and angry, and that's why they're lashing out at these women. That's the implication. And men's rights activists, so they're trying to conflate the two, right? Men's rights activists are also essentially ideologically polarized and unreasonable, right? To mass report these ladies to the tax authorities, yes, for allegedly failing to declare income. So what? The last time I checked, it's perfectly okay to report people for committing a crime, which, by the way, evading taxes is a big one. That's how they got Al Capone, that's how they got Wesley Snipes, and that's how they're going to get some of these bros. Of course, you know, they'll get a pass because they're women. They won't go to jail. So, the hashtag Thot Audit, which appears to have been started by a Facebook user calling themselves David Wu, began to trend on Sunday after being promoted by controversial pickup artist and legal rape advocate Daryush Rush Rushvi. Okay. Well, by the way, what is legal rape? I'm confused here. What is that, like legal murder? Or legal stealing? Aren't these things crimes? So right there, this ought to tell you that this article is nonsense and not to pay any heed to anything it says, because the person who's writing it clearly is suffering from a bad case of cognitive dissonance. So he's putting two contradictory words together in the same quotation marks, and he doesn't see this. What's legal rape? If it's legal, it's not rape, because rape is illegal. It's very, very odd, right? So, online Thots are finding out that all income generated from their breasts and vagina is taxable, Mr. Rush V says. Yeah, all income is taxable. Yes, even Al Capone, who was a criminal and generated all his revenue from bootleg booze, had to declare that revenue to the tax authorities. And by the way, most criminals back then did. Yeah, because you could get away with bootlegging booze, but you couldn't get away with not paying the tax man. So, I don't have a problem with that so far. Men are aggressively organized. I see, you've got to pay attention to the words this fellow uses, okay? Because like any journalist these days, he's more likely than not to be an activist, and he clearly is. And these activists are well-trained leftists. They're well-trained in how to use words to subtly manipulate your view of things. So, he throws in the word aggressively. How are they aggressively organizing to report all thoughts, huh? How are women online who are essentially seeking attention, oftentimes for cash? How are they being aggressive about it, right? Because somebody please tell me. Now, when you hear the word aggressive, you think of physical, right? How is organizing aggressive, basically? The inference is that them coming together is aggressive. How do you come together aggressively? How is that aggressing? You see, the definition of the word aggress is you use it to define actions against another person or an entity or a thing. I aggressively smashed in the roof of your car, for example. You don't use it when you're not talking about an actual action in regards to aggressing against something. Just coming together, where's the aggression exactly? So the implication there is that they are aggressive men, right? They're aggressive men, they're evil men, they're toxically masculine men. I don't blame them. These girls are getting a free ride via beta bucks. Beta males. So essentially a beta male is your typical soy boy, like the writer of this article, who goes along with any and everything women say, including letting them wear the pants and white knighting for them, in the hopes that you might get some, well, strange. You know what I'm talking about. Now, beta bucks, dollars, right? So beta males offering up some money in the hopes of seeing some punani. Not free punani. And a broken sexual marketplace that is rigged in the favor of females. I can't honestly argue with that. I mean, let's be honest. The system is rigged to favor women in pretty much every way. Divorce, alimony laws, child support, criminality. Women get 1/4 the convictions, 1/3 the jail time for the same crime. Yet the system is rigged in favor of females. He added that under Internal Revenue Service policy, a whistleblower could receive up to 30% of the tax collected. Interesting. There's actually a financial incentive to defeating thottery, he wrote. Yeah, you can make some money, guys. I should add, again, I have no problem with this. If you're breaking the law and somebody reports you for breaking the law, more power to them. These women having a problem with this, wouldn't that imply that they're breaking the law? Oh, but the writer of this article doesn't care about that. Laws are for suckers, I guess, in his mind. So it goes on to tell you essentially what I already told you. Thot is an online slang term meaning that ho over there. One poster on the 4chan image board wrote that it now stood for that ho owes tax. Online cam girls reported being targeted for their premium Snapchat and Instagram services, exchanging nude photos for payment. They do more than that. I believe the premium Snapchat, I think you just pay for like some kind of conversation with them over a webcam, and then you request them to do stuff. Honestly, I don't understand this. I mean, I guess it's the interaction that you're paying for and getting them to do what you want that creates a more intimate feel to it, and so makes it more realistic, I suppose. Honestly, I could care less. I mean, geez, why not just watch online porn for free? But anyway, I guess it gets some people off, and whatever does it for you, right? So, PSA to any of my friends who run premium Snapchats, there's a wave of guys reporting them to the IRS for tax fraud and the like, one Twitter user wrote. Please be careful. I know sex work is hard enough. What do you mean, please be careful? So, they're breaking the law. So, these women ain't paying taxes. I love it. I love female entitlement. First, they complain that men are oppressing them and looking at them as nothing more than objects. And then, right, they turn around. This is great, right? They turn around and make money doing what? Making themselves purely into sexual objects for the sexual gratification of men. You couldn't write this stuff, man. So, another wrote, with all these men harassing us, stalking us, snitching to our families, and reporting us to the cops and the IRS, I'm wondering when sex workers are going to snap and take these effers out when we finally have nothing more to lose. Take out meaning kill you. Yeah, women are not overly emotional creatures. Nah. So, look very carefully what you're saying here. With all these men harassing us, stalking us. Now, who's stalking you? You're anonymous. They don't know where you live, so I guess they're talking about cyber stalking, right? Being a bother, a nuisance online. Ooh, I thought you were strong and independent, ladies, but you can't handle that. Snitching to our families. Okay, so how are they finding out your identity? To then contact your family and let them know what you're doing? That I don't really agree with, but, there's risk to online work. You did choose this profession. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that you need to be a realist. And reporting us to the cops and the IRS. Okay, which one is it? Cops or IRS? Because, let's be real, what you're doing is not illegal, so what you're really talking about is the IRS, right? They're mistakenly contacting the police, and the police are telling them, you need to contact the IRS. This isn't something we deal with. All right, so it's really the IRS that you have a problem with. Why? If you have nothing to hide, why do you have a problem with the IRS finding out what you're doing? Because you're not reporting your income, right? But I'm a woman! I was oppressed forever! I got news for you, sweetheart. The whole human race was oppressed forever by, call it, reality. Which, by the way, dictates that life is very hard, at least until this last very decadent 50 years, okay? So everybody had it hard, so spare me, all right? You don't deserve any special treatment, but you get it anyway. I don't know what you're complaining about. Pay your friggin' taxes. You won't have a problem. I'm wondering when sex workers are going to snap. Sex workers. Is this really work? Come on. Let's be honest here. You want me to take you seriously. You're there jamming a broom handle into yourself, and I'm supposed to take you seriously. I'm sorry. I don't take you seriously. I don't see how that's work. Essentially, you're just getting yourself off. That's something you would do anyway, right? And you think you should get paid for that. That's not work, okay? Shoveling coal is work, all right? Being a garbage collector is work, okay? Being a CEO of a Fortune 500 company is work. What you're doing... No, I'm sorry. And by the way, it's my opinion. I'm sure some of the people might disagree and think that I'm wrong. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to mine, at least ostensibly so. So, yes, we'll take these effers out when we finally have nothing more to lose. Yeah, as if you're not already in enough trouble for not paying your taxes. I wouldn't add murder to that list, okay? Oh, well, maybe we'll just label it legal murder, like this guy labels Rouge Fee an advocate of legal rape, and then you'll be able to get away with it, right? That's ridiculous. Online model Suze Ellis said a bunch of men on Twitter are mad because they believe they're entitled to free nudes, so they're reporting sex workers. Snapchatting comes to the IRS for audits. Just say you hate women and leave. Okay, so notice she immediately goes to, you are a woman hater. The implication being that you can't get any poon, so you hate women. So look at the very low opinion that she has of men. Right? Look at the very low opinion. That they're cheap. They want free news. That's a problem. They want free stuff. Meanwhile, 85% of taxpayers are men. And you women want the state to pay for your contraception and abortions and your menstrual products. But somehow we're cheapskates. Okay. So, yeah, she has a lot to say about men that's very negative. And yet, you make your money from men. Selling men your body, your sexuality, objectifying yourself to them. And then at the same time, you attack them and you hate them, and you're not paying taxes, and you wonder why they have a problem with this to the point where they report it to the IRS. You might want to get some self-awareness there, honey. So Jared Holt from the website Right Wing Watch tweeted that while the hashtag started as a joke, of course the incels and angry young men of the world are picking it up for their own devices. His opinion, of course, the incel. So you automatically assume that the person reporting this is an incel, right? Why do you assume that? Again, listen to the hate. Listen to the vitriol. Look at the lack of respect. Look at the derision that the person who wrote this, who believes it's perfectly okay for women not to pay their taxes, look at the derision he shows. So, like most of what these guys normally do, this channels their deep-seated, sick frustration that they don't get the girlfriends they think they're owed into random outbursts of random women who dare to use the internet. Okay, so it's not hard to dissect this, like most of these guys normally do. So, these guys, meaning these type of guys, meaning they're a collective, meaning they're almost like a cult. They are people with an ideological mindset. They're heavily biased. They all share one thing in common, right? They're all loser incels. They're very unreasonable. And they have a problem with women using the internet. No, they have a problem with women not paying their taxes while they pay their taxes. Okay? So, yeah, this channel's they're deep-seated. You're a psychologist now? You're a psychiatrist? Frustration. Yeah. It's all deep-seated frustration. It doesn't have anything to do with the fact that these broads ain't paying taxes. That they don't get the girlfriends they think they're owed. So these are some broad, sweeping generalizations. Why don't we just call these broads whores? Okay? Why don't we just call these broads whores who were sexually abused as children, who have daddy issues, attachment issues, they hate men because men abused them as children, and now they're just selling their bodies because they don't know how to do anything else. They're suffering from arrested development because they stopped developing when they were abused. And all this sex work that they're doing is a manifestation of their deep-seated frustration and anger toward men. You see, I can do that too, Pinhead. See, I can essentially draw the same kind of conclusions and make the same kind of assumptions about these women as a group that you're making about these men as a group. Should we do that? No, but since you want to, I will do, because turnabout is fair play, pal. So, yeah. Vice, oh boy. They ought to call it the Feminist Weekly, or the Weekly Worker, or something like that, some other a communist name. Maybe it's more about hating women and not actually paying taxes, and not about it, and maybe not. Because they're reporting these women for not paying taxes. They're not reporting these women, oh, I hate women, I'm going to report that I hate women. They're reporting them for not actually paying taxes. And these women are not actually paying taxes, because if they were paying taxes, they wouldn't have a problem with it. Why would they be complaining if they were paying taxes? Should we really be surprised that on Thanksgiving weekend, instead of spending time with family or significant others or friends, their only contact is being volunteer cops for the Internal Revenue Service and being very mad at nude women on the internet? By the way, let me point out that if this was women doing this to men, the women would be hailed as heroes for bringing down the evil male patriarchy. They would be hailed as heroes for bringing down these horrible, evil men who are gaming the system. But because it's women who are doing something wrong and it's men who are pointing it out, oh my God, those men are horrible. Yeah, and being very mad at nude women on the internet. So he's conflating their anger with these women being nude, right? Look at these ladies. They got all these men want to see them naked. Nobody wants to see these men naked, so they're angry and resentful and jealous of these women. No. If they're upset about anything, it's because they are taxpayers and these women are not. Goes on to say one viral tweet was criticized for giving potentially misleading advice. You do not have to pay taxes in the U.S. until you make more than $20,000 a year. That's not true. The online streamer wrote, don't worry about incels reporting you to the IRS because they actually can't do anything without digital proof of your income. That's also not true. That's not true. First of all, if you're working online and earning an income using like a premium Snapchat, which makes money, and the IRS doesn't know about that, guess what? They already know you're making money that isn't getting taxed. I don't think the lady that wrote this thought of that. Goes on to say she suggested payments through services like PayPal were considered a donation and the IRS can't do anything about it. That's not true. That's not true. Video game journalist Oliver Campbell said the posts were 100% incorrect and will get you in trouble with the IRS. Yeah, they will. Of course, the writer pointed this out, right? He wants to help the Wayman. Wants to help the Wayman not get in trouble. I have no problem with you evading taxes. Do you evade taxes, Mr. who wrote this article? Mr. Frank Chung? No, I pay my taxes, but I'm a man. I'm an evil man, and I oppress the Wayman. And blacks. And brown people, too. I deserve to pay taxes. She should never have to pay taxes. Please sleep with me. I think you should have to pay taxes. Soy boy. Another cam girl also hit out, urging the women to delete this false tweet. Here's correct information. You have to file taxes when you earn $400 or more a year. Yeah, the government wants their pound of flesh regardless of how much you make. She wrote, noting online sex workers were classified as independent contractors. Yeah. Who can be taxed. Certified public accountant Kenneth Hester chimed in saying, yes, this is statutory taxable income, but in order to receive the reward, the whistleblower is required to provide the taxpayer's social security number to the IRS. Okay, interesting. Here's Roosh. Yeah. If you report a thought to the IRS, you get 30% of that amount. Nice. That's a good way to make a living right there, by the way. Become an IRS cop and... That's not a bad idea, actually. Check out these cam girl sites, and then, any chick that is a cam girl, report her to the IRS. You could get 30% of that cheddar, baby. Might take a while, but it'd be a big check. Jared Hott. In the right-wing internet tonight, the online fail sons are attempting to punish women who have premium pay-to-view Instagram, Snapchat accounts by reporting them to the IRS. Right-wing internet, online fail sons. Did you ever stop to think you're the fail son, Jared, for supporting feminism and you're a man? So that's it. Yeah. You ladies need to start paying your taxes, huh? I know you don't like to pay taxes. I know that 85% of taxes are paid by men, even though the workforce has a greater number of women in it now than it does men. You ladies are not paying your fair share. What about equality? Where's that equality that you wanted? Well, we wanted all the positive rights that you gentlemen have, but we didn't want the responsibilities, meaning the negative aspects of those rights. Yeah. We want to be able to vote and have a voice, but that pesky draft thing where we might get our head blown off for our country, we don't want to go that far. And taxes, yeah, let the rich ladies pay those. The rest of us don't wanna. More power to them. I'm glad these guys are calling these ladies out, and more of you need to do so. If you come across one of these cam girls, I see no problem with reporting them to the IRS if you have reason to believe that they are not paying taxes. So that's all I have to say really about this Thot audit thing. Again, I find it ironic that so many of these women have such man hate when they're making their livings off of men, and then they have the nerve to accuse us of hating them. Look at the sentiments they express. Good Lord. Oh, but I shouldn't classify them all and toss them into one group, even though Frank Chung, who wrote this article, has no problem doing so. Did you drink your soy tonight, my friend? Anyhow, I am the realist philosopher, and I wish you a good day. Take care.